All right, guys, this is for all of my clients, current, past, and future, okay? So please pay attention because this is important. If this benefits someone else also, great. I hope so. More power to you. I want to discuss two different situations that I run into a lot with the people that I work with, okay? First of all, you chose me to work with your dog. You trust me with something that's very, very important to you. That's not something that I take lightly. I take that very seriously. But please understand, I also chose you because I'm very, very picky on who I work with. So if I accepted you as a client, it's for a reason, okay? You're definitely someone that I wanted to work with for one reason or the other. With that being said, most of my clients turn into long-term, lifelong friends because it is something that the relationship between me and the dog is very important. We all know that. We all see that. But the relationship between me and the owner is also very important. And the better that relationship is, the more successful you're going to be. It's that simple, okay? I'll give you another example. I coach kids sports, right? When I coach kids sports, if we're having a draft, say it's basketball season and we're having a draft and we get to pick our players, I don't go for the best players. I don't think about how many games could I win with these players. I pick the kids on my team by their parents. I try to pick the best parents, the people that I'm going to have a good experience with. That's going to allow me to have the best experience with your child. It's that simple. Even if your kid is a shithead, with good parents and permission from the parents, we're going to do wonderful things together, and it's going to be a great experience always. And these are things that are overlooked, I think, by a lot of dog trainers. So that relationship between me and the client is everything. All right, with that being said, let's talk about two different situations that I run into a lot. First, we have the client who's very fortunate and gets to work from home and gets to spend 24 hours a day with their dog from the time they get that little puppy or adopt an adult dog, right? That is a tremendous opportunity to create the best possible dog you can have when you're with it 24 hours a day. But it's also the best opportunity to create a mental weakling and create a lot of problems, all right? And what I mean by that is most of you, and this is what I find, the people that I work with that work from home and spend every waking hour with their dog, that dog is with you 24/7. You're never away from it. You leave the house and you take your dog with you, which is great, guys. Don't get me wrong. But you have to create some separation also in your dog's life throughout the day when you are home. Otherwise, the dog is going to struggle when it has to be away from you. For instance, if you send it to me because now you're having behavioral problems, a lot of those dogs struggle. They've never been separated from you, right? You're sitting at your desk, you're working, you get up to go to the bathroom, the dog follows you. It's a problem. You're laying down watching TV from your couch, you get up to go to the bathroom, you go to the kitchen and get something to eat, the dog follows you. Can't be without you. It's a problem. You become your dog's kryptonite, okay? You want to be more of an asset to your dog, but you have to make a mentally tough dog. You have to create some separation, okay? And for the dogs that really struggle being away from you, you have to start in a very simple sense. It may be putting your dog in a down just 5 feet away from you. Literally, that simple, because some dogs can't be even a few feet away from you. They have to be laying on your feet in case you move, right? Your dog has to be able to be crated, right? Crate your dog every room you have, every area of the house, in your garage. Put it on a tie back for a few minutes at a time in your yard. Crate it in plastic crates and wire crates. Crate it in the same room. Put a baby gate up, keep it in a room where the dog can see you. You understand what I'm saying? But you have to create some separation when you're home with this dog 24/7. Otherwise, you're going to run into problems, okay? It's a great opportunity. Take advantage of it, but don't let it bite you in the ass either, right? Then I deal with many different clients, right? But the other one that I run into a lot, I deal with a lot of very successful people. a lot of very busy people, very, very busy people, and many of them have small children. So finding the time to train your dog the way you think you're supposed to be training your dog could be very, very difficult. I understand that. I really do. Life gets absolutely insane when you have young kids alone. But when you're very successful and very busy, working with your dog is sometimes the last thing you think of or the last thing you want to do when you get home after a very long day, right? But this is what I want you guys to understand. Training your dog, whether you go out and get a puppy from day one, 8-week-old, 10-week-old puppy, or you go adopt an adult dog, you are always training your dog when you're with them, guys. As long as you're with your dog, you are training. You just have to ask yourself, am I training for good or am I training for bad? Okay? Everything you do or don't do when you're in the presence of that animal is creating the behavior you want or you don't want. So take advantage of it. It's not extra work, but you have to eliminate the bad habits and replace them with good habits, right? You have to do that. If you have a young dog, whether it's young by age or young where you haven't had it that long and it doesn't have any training and it still has behavioral problems, you have to take advantage of that time when you're with that animal, okay? You're inside your home. Keep that dog on a leash. If you use certain tools to train with, have those tools on your dog when you're with it and take advantage. The dog is going to give you opportunities to communicate with it, to give it feedback, to let it know, hey, I like that. I like what you're doing there, little guy. Good job. I appreciate that, right? They're giving you opportunities. They give you opportunities to say, no, I don't like that. This is unacceptable. You can't do that, all right? But if your dog is just free roaming at a young age before it could be trusted on its own, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle. You're going to be fixing bad behaviors instead of creating the dog that you want. So when people see my dogs, I have really good dogs, right? I always get a lot of feedback on them. People love watching my dogs. But what you don't understand, guys, is when I get a new puppy, that puppy, I'm not raising a puppy. I'm raising a dog. And that dog with me and my family is in training for 2 years. 2 years. And I know what I'm doing. So imagine for you guys who maybe don't know what you're doing to the level of a professional dog trainer, and you think that maybe working with your dog a week or two or sending it away for a 2-week training program, now you have a trained dog. Doesn't work that way, guys. I spend 2 years training my dog. I don't mean come sitting down and the basic obedience stuff. I mean teaching my dog how to be self-sufficient and part of our family, right? Always giving feedback, letting the dog know you can't do that, letting the dog know, hey, I like when you do that. Slowly giving the dog freedom inside the home, not before they can't handle it. Because if you're given, that's one of the biggest issues we deal with, guys. That's where a lot of our behavioral problems come from. You know, first, people get dogs that are way above their pay grade, way above their head, dogs they should not have. They're not compatible with, you know, certain types of dogs. But the biggest mistake that most people make is they give their young dog way too much freedom too soon. And that allows for a lot of really bad behaviors to start. And then instead of developing the dog that you want, you spend a lot of time and money fixing the things you don't want, all right? So I can go on for hours about this, but I'm not going to. I'm going to cut it off before we get to the 10-minute mark, hopefully here. But those are the two different types of people that I work with all the time. People that are fortunate and are home 24/7, especially since the pandemic started. You got to create some separation. And for people that are crazy busy, have young children, and just don't have a lot of time in the day, you have to take advantage of every waking minute when you're with that animal and establish good habits and get rid of the bad habits, okay? I hope this helps my clients for the future, current clients, and the ones in the past. Please pay attention to that. I'm not a miracle worker, and I could only be as successful as what I can teach you. not the dog. The dog's easy, all right? Peace, guys.